alcoholic addict.
Stephanie and Morgan on the patron support. Thank you. Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict on this Thursday night.
I'm Felice. I'm here as tech support only.
Bam, tech support. That's her right there. So today we're having a Zoom meeting and we were talking, and there's a few people in our group that are brand new, 10 days or less clean, even a month or so clean. We got a lot of new people, and I thought today would be a good time to go over some relapse prevention. We were going to do it after the show in a Zoom meeting, which we're still going to do. But I thought, hey, we'll jump on live since Jake's whooped and he's tired. He started going back to work this week after his little time off, and he's got to take care of his boys and stuff like that. So we're jumping on live. We're going to go through this article on relapse prevention. I have mine that I wrote. I had to write one. Bam, there it is. And depending on how far we get into this article, this live is not going to be the full hour unless it is, but we'll see. I'm going to go through this whole article on relapse prevention. We're going to look at what qualifies as a relapse. We're going to look at why relapse is so dangerous. Is it normal to relapse? How do you stop a relapse? What is a relapse prevention plan? And if you don't have one, today's a good day to tune in. And then afterwards, I would like you guys, well, during this live, if you have a pen and paper and you're a note taker, don't think you're going to remember it, because that's the biggest lie we tell ourselves is, yeah, I'll remember that. Write some things down. Let's start making our relapse prevention plan if you don't have one. Write it down, take some bullet notes, and just kind of get some ideas together as we go through this, okay? You don't need to write your full-on relapse prevention plan right now, but start jotting down some bullet points and get ready to start writing a relapse prevention plan. Like I said, I'm LT. I'm an alcoholic addict. I've been 2 times in my life, hit rock bottom. I've done every drug underneath the sun, except for a lot of doctor prescribed stuff. I didn't really get into any of those benzos and all that kind of stuff, but I did get into meth very heavily. Got locked up for a year. Obviously, I was a pothead my whole life. And then whiskey, became a full-blown fifth-a-night whiskey drinking alcoholic. And so I had to go to a couple rehabs, and to transition out of the one rehab I was in for 5 months in the intense part of it. To transition, I had to write a relapse prevention plan, and I have that still here today. And I read it every once in a while on here, and we go through it in Zoom meetings every once in a while. I do teach a class Mondays and Wednesdays. This Monday will be our 3rd class of this go round, and we will be going over step 3. But in this class, we also teach on one of the days this relapse prevention plan that we're going to talk about tonight. Drop in the comments if you do have one. Do you have a relapse prevention plan, and is it written down? Do you rely on it? Have you never heard of a relapse prevention plan? Like, what the heck? What? I thought this was just for today and 24 hours. We're just living day by day. There's that old cliche. We've been talking the last couple of weeks of how cliches, why cliches are cliches, right? Because they work. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you have a relapse prevention plan, let me know. If you've never heard of one, drop it in the comments. And please do share this out, especially with Facebook's new algorithm. Unless you guys are sharing this ain't going nowhere. Facebook wants you to pay it forward. But that money thing. But I'll let Felice say, hey, what's up to everybody in the chat while I chill for just a second.
Jake's got a relapse prevention plan. Lisha's got one. Let's see who's here today. We got Steph. Early for a second time. Hope everyone is good. Yep, good tonight. Got some Chinese food upstairs. Smelling good.
It's gonna be gone by
What's
the
up,
time we get
Brittany?
there.
I know. Might have to do a second DoorDash. What's up, Mad? Good to see you. What's up, Geesh? Tracy, it's been a while. How you doing, Tracy? Update me. What's going on? How are you and John? What's up, Petey? Hello, recovering addict family. Glad to see you feeling better tonight. Yes, much better tonight. We were just like kind of in the pits and tired, and I don't know, just didn't feel good the other day. Thank you for the share squad, Petey. What's up, Lish? Big Hump in the house. Big Hump just here, just being Hump. Let's see who else. Brittany's here. I'm walking it off. darn rain is sending messages before I'm done. What's up, Carla? What's up, Epi? Steph says I started one with Jeanette, but only got a couple questions in. Still don't know exactly what it is, guys. Well,
Cool.
we'll
Perfect time for you to be here.
ask questions.
Yeah. If you got any questions, drop them too. Thanks,
What's up,
buddy.
Misty Johns?
Misty, what's up?
Good to see you.
Yeah, Tuesday I couldn't go live. I'm the one that canceled it. I believe this is what happened. So, as some of you know, I had surgery on my leg and it got infected, and I had to take basically a month and a half off from the gym. And during that time, I didn't eat too good. Just sat on the couch and wallowed in self-pity. You know how we do. Monday, went back and did a full-blown, full-body workout. And you know when they say you go get a massage, hey, then they give you that warning, like tomorrow you're probably not going to feel so good because they rub all those toxins out of your muscles. I believe that Monday released all that stuff out of my body, and the whole day, and I drank all kinds of caffeine, and I still was just had a bad attitude. And if anybody would have asked me questions, I would have given them horrible answers. It was one of those times it was just like, keep your mouth shut.
Just don't talk.
Don't talk. We don't need you talking today.
Tracy says, so glad I made it. Yeah, glad you're here. She's graduating Sawyer House.
Yes.
Woo-woo-woo. Hey, Sawyer House.
Shout out.
And have to come up with a relapse prevention plan.
Perfect.
Perfect timing.
For all of you that just joined after this little article we're going to go through, we will jump into a Zoom meeting together and discuss it. So a relapse can't be contained to one single event. We learned that relapses start way before you do drugs and drink, right? We learned from our book, Staying Sober by Terrence Gorski, that recovery is like walking up a down escalator. And if you stop moving forward, that's where the relapse happens. So that's the point in time we want to stop the relapse, because when you get to the bottom, that's where drinking and drugging happen, right? It's an ongoing process that is experienced by a person in recovery and marked by a significant red flags or warning signs. And that's why we have these group discussions. That's why we meet every day at 1:00, so that we're open and honest with each other, and we can call each other out on red flags that we see. And the better we get to know each other, the better we're going to be able to support and hold each other accountable. These warning signs can cause a person to return to their drug or alcohol abuse. When those red flags start popping up, you could pretty much say you're in relapse. You don't have to take drugs and drink to be relapsed, right? So we're going to talk about that. A relapse prevention plan is a great tool that can be used to recognize and manage the warning signs of relapse and sustain a healthy, sober lifestyle. So what qualifies? What qualifies as a relapse? I relapsed. Well, what does that mean? I don't get it. What are you talking about? What qualifies? Like what are you measuring? You know, we always talk about measurements. If you're going to succeed in life, if you're going to run a business, you have to be able to measure your success. And so what is your measuring tape, right? A return to substance abuse after a period of sobriety qualifies as a relapse. However, the definition of relapse varies from person to person. So if you're up for typing, a few little sentences, what is your definition when you think about, like, ask yourself if I were to relapse, it would look like, and then state your definition in the comments of what you believe a relapse is for you. And I don't want to read the second part because I don't want to give away any ideas. I want to see what you think a relapse is. Say hi to everybody.
I did say hi. Michelle made it. Hey, you still owe me a message. I'm like, the anticipation's killing me here. Epi said he got his studio back together. It's part of his plan. Right on. Good job. Very cool. Michelle is tapped out. I'll just be over here in my personal bubble. That's all good. All good.
I'm glad you're here listening.
Glad you're here listening.
You've probably heard this before since you've been around for a while.
Oh, yeah. Probably a couple times.
All right. So, for example, some people may believe that a single use of drug or alcohol is a lapse, right? Morgan says using any mind-altering substances while in recovery. Okay.
They're popping up now. Hey, Mark.
Good evening, Markalicious.
Relapse and fall back onto the same patterns.
There you go. It's a mental state for Epi.
Our 20-second lag is catching up.
Woohoo! I was kind of figuring. So some people believe that, whoops, I drank a beer. I had a half a glass of beer or whatever. I lapsed, right? Instead of a full blown relapse. Because there's differences, is there a lapse or a relapse? When does it become a full on relapse? You're lapping back into an old way of life. And I'll give you my diet analogy here in a little bit if I don't forget.
Brittany says patterns.
Patterns, going back to old patterns, right on.
Steph says to go back to the same DOC to abuse it.
There you go. And that's not closing back doors. We talked about that the last week or so.
See, Donna says calling up a friend, uses.
That's another great one. We've been talking about deleting those phone numbers.
Yep. Carla Bell says my relapse would start with constant negative self-talk and stomping around full of resentment.
Boom. Carla, you're nailing it. That's what we got to start thinking about. Go ahead with Danny.
He says backsliding into negative old actions.
Yes, backsliding into negative old actions. That's what, when I start teaching relapse prevention, I want everybody to understand, and I want more clarity for myself so that I can see things in me. But that small step off of the recovery path to the not recovery path is when relapse is starting, right? Those old negative talks and stomping around and getting irritable discontent, getting back into bad habits and mentally, right? We're talking mentally. And that's what snowballs into using. It's not like all of a sudden, I'm on recovery. Never mind. That can happen if you come across a drug. There are certain situations, but we're talking about protecting ourselves mentally.
So Steph's got a good question real quick. Oops. Oh, Brandon says choosing a person, place, or thing over my stinking thinking problem.
Yeah.
Steph says, is it any substance or just the one you were addicted to? Is there that a relapse?
So in recovery, if you want to be the strict recovery, we talk about any mind-altering substances, right? It doesn't matter. And my old counselor used to always tell me, because we would ask that question, well, what if I do have that Sudafed and this is early recovery, what if I have Sudafed in the cupboard? I'll get rid of it because anything will do in a pinch. Us addicts will reach for anything to get us high. And if we are going for anything, it will eventually drive us back to our drug of choice. When I drank, I would end up smoking weed and doing whatever, right? But the catalyst was drinking. And I would drink, it was legal and all that kind of stuff. But it could be anything, any mind-altering drug. And and like we always talk about, recovery is subjective to you. What do you want out of life and what are your goals? People can come up to me and ask me for a workout plan, a diet plan. And I'm not going to be like, this is what you need to do. I'm going to be like, what are your goals in life? Do you want to be Mr. Olympia and have huge giant muscles and get on stage? Or do you just want to be healthy and have a good quality life? Two different plans, right? And recovery is the same way. What is your goals in life? Like, what's the end goal of recovery for you? When you think about it, okay, I quit drugs and alcohol. Now what? What's my goal in life? Is it to know myself better? Is it to one day learn how to drink? I mean, I would suggest not if you're the allergy type, like it says in the big book. Me, I'm a zero abstinence guy. I abstain from all mind altering drugs. I have to. That's my personality. That's my addict type. Like smoking weed, I'm not for or against it. For me, I don't do it because I can't. Weed will become an obsession. I won't be able to do things without it, and I will always be chasing it. And so I just stay away from it. You know what I mean? I stay away from those things.
I like what Michelle says right here. She says, sometimes your old you will flirt with you.
Absolutely.
Just got to say no.
That is a freaking beautiful way to put that.
I like how you put that. Oh, PD. Very cool. PD's in the county jail doing some 12 steps with inmates.
Dude, yes.
Warriors. Welcome, Christina. Isolating, yes. Sonia, welcome. Glad you're part of the audience.
Thank you, Hernandez.
Letting yourself get lonely.
How do you say Hovania? Hovani? Huh? She said warriors.
Giovanni.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I suck at reading. I dropped out in 10th grade. Big hump coming through with the 20. Thank you, brother.
What up, Morgan?
All right, so there's 3 stages of relapse.
Thanks.
You got emotional, right? You got hidden emotions, not wanting to go to recovery meetings, and you're avoiding friends and families, and you're slacking in your self-care. You got emotional, and you start hiding because of your emotions. Mental, you're fantasizing about using drugs or alcohol, having cravings to use, you're glorifying old days of drug use, you're searching for relapse opportunities, and you're planning a relapse, even though you could say, no, I'm not, but you're thinking about it. And, we talked about it in the Zoom meeting the other day. Instead of turning left on the road and passing the dealer's house and be like, well, if he's outside, I'll just stop and say hi. That's planning a relapse. So you got to be careful for this. These 3 stages, right? Emotional, mental, and then physical. Using drugs or alcohol, even just once. So emotional, you got hidden emotions, not wanting to go to recovery meetings. You're avoiding friends and family, and you're slacking on self-care. Mentally, it's fantasizing about using drugs, having cravings to use, or glorifying the old days. Man, that was so fun when I did this and I did that. And, a lot of our stories start off with, this one time I was so drunk. How many stories can you say? This one time I was so high, and that starts fantasizing, right? You're searching for relapse opportunities, which basically means you're planning a relapse. Even if the physical act of using drugs or alcohol only occurs once, a person likely needs to return to treatment to address the emotional and mental backslide. Emotional and mental backslide. You got to come back to a meeting, wherever you find that you fit, to just get it off your chest. Maybe it's a friend, a support, a loved one, a sponsor or a counselor, get back into it. Get your head back in the game, Dang, why is my mouse moving so quick today?
It's going fast.
So why is relapse so dangerous? The most severe danger associated with relapse is a person's loss of tolerance. You used to be able to bang a 1 mil shot or more, right? And then you go back to it after your tolerance is dropped and you still think you can bang something like that. It's going to kill you. Number 1, why is it so dangerous? It could kill you. Like that. We forget all about that part of it. I don't care if you're taking meth, you're shooting up, meth is a crazy, gross, disgusting chemical made in these disgusting labs. And we just take it for granted that we bought this baggie from a dude we think we trust because he has something we want, that if we sniff it, it's going to be what it is. That's ludicrous. Really think about logically about buying an illegal substance and putting it in your body. Even if it is what it is, it's poison and it's not good for you. Heroin and the new, I can't even remember the name of that crap. What's the new opiate that's crazy that I smoked one time? Fentanyl. That can kill you, and it kills people all the time. Amy Winehouse, she's a famous singer. She OD'd on alcohol. She died from drinking. It's possible. Number 1 reason relapse is so dangerous, it could kill you. Don't forget that. Once you stop using, your brain will return to its normal function fairly quickly. Just being sober for a short time can cause these changes, and your tolerance will dissipate quickly. If you decide to use drugs again, even a small or a moderate amount can be lethal. Is it normal to relapse? You don't. My counselor used to always tell me, and there's a few in our group here. Brandon Moulton, welcome to the show.
Good night. Good night, Brandon.
Now he's going to bed?
Yeah. Now he commented earlier. I put it up there.
Oh, cool. Is it normal to relapse? My counselor says no, you do not have to relapse. You never have to relapse. We got some members in our group here that have never had a relapse, and they've got years and years and years and years of sobriety. So no, you don't have to relapse, and it's not a part of recovery. It does not have to be. Is it a part of recovery? Yeah. I relapsed. I took 3 shots of whiskey. You see my key tags here show my relapse. That's why it goes 24-hour, 30-day, 24-hour, 30-day on, and then it goes on to my good track record all the way to 18 months. If you stop following your treatment plan, which is a plan we're about to write and get into our head and learn all the tools we're learning here at Recovering Addict, you are much more likely to relapse if you stop following this. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, relapse rates for substance use disorders are similar to rates for other chronic illnesses, such as hypertension and asthma. An estimated 40 to 60% of people in recovery may relapse, but that doesn't mean that treatment doesn't work. Instead, it's a sign that the treatment plan needs to be revisited and revised in your own life. We grow. Every couple of years, we change. Every 6 months, you're going to be somebody different in recovery because you're just figuring things out. Go back and get back into your plan and make adjustments. Like when I read mine tonight, it's going to have some things in there that I've done and I'm doing, but that I didn't do. And I need to get back on track doing. So how do you stop a relapse? There's several ways you can work to stop relapses if you feel one coming. When you have a craving, distract yourself with other activities until the craving passes. Oh boy, I feel it. Oh my gosh, I want to use so bad. Me, I'd go get a milkshake off of drinking, call a friend, get in a meeting, go for a walk, go work out, push it away, get over it because it will pass. Know your triggers, recognize them, and actively avoid them. Ground yourself with meditation. Meditation's a great thing. And we're not talking, I don't know, maybe this article is, but when I think of meditation, I don't think of just clearing your mind. I think we are designed to have very extremely powerful minds that we can control to think deeply. And I think to meditate and control our thoughts, if it gets off the subject we're meditating on, bring it back. Exercise regularly, ask a friend or a sponsor or treatment professor for help. If a relapse happens, it's much more important to focus on your response to it rather than fixating on the relapse itself. It may happen. You may find yourself have had a relapse, right? And you don't wake up the next day and just like, oh my God, I did it. And you just constantly beat yourself up. You say, okay, where did I go wrong? You look back a week, maybe 2, maybe a month. Where did my mind start going down that relapse trail? And what am I going to do to prevent that? So what is a relapse prevention plan? Okay. A relapse prevention plan is a written plan that helps you recognize the signs of relapse, avoid triggers, and prevent a return to chronic substance use. We do not want to go back to chronic substance use, the obsession of mind, and then the possibility of death. After you complete a treatment program, your recovery specialist or sponsor should help you create a written relapse prevention plan. It will likely include a detailed plan of action to help you initiate a personal self-care plan. Identify techniques you will use to deal with urges and cravings and create a list of people you will reach out to if you do use drugs or alcohol.
Oops, I didn't mean to put that up there. Oh, it says, I have never been a drinker, and since I started down my road to recovery, I've had one beer on special occasions, maybe like 3 times a year. Is that wrong of me? I just don't know. I don't feel like it puts my recovery at risk because I keep it to just one and only when I'm with my husband.
Yeah, Mandy, I don't know your full story and your recoveries, and it's at the end of the day, it's your life. The big book talks about average temperate drinkers. There's people out there that can. I'm not suggesting anybody out there try to be like that, but I'm talking about you personally. That may be okay with you. I don't know. I'm not here to bash you and say, oh, that's horrible. You can't have a bear. I don't know what it's going to do to your life. And it sounds like you've given it a lot of thought and you got things in place. And I don't know, are you having the beer? I don't know. Maybe ask yourself questions. Why do you have the beer? Are you having it to have that mood altering or is it just something casual because you like the taste of beer and you're not trying to get drunk? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Only you can really define. And if it's bothering you and it's making you feel guilty, probably shouldn't do it. We don't need to add that to our lives. I'm not going to, just because I just don't want it. I can reach for a cup of tea, Diet Sprites. I love those. And it's the same thing, especially because when I drank, I drank to get drunk. That's why I drank. I loved it. So, 90% of the people in the world, if you take 380 million people in the whole population, only 10% of them become extreme drug addicts like we are. The other ones, they've tried drugs, they've tried alcohol, and occasionally do drink, but it doesn't take down everybody. You know what I mean? And you may be okay.
Sean
So
said,
that's not for me to judge.
well put. Subjective, really depends on the person's story. Just like you, I'm very across the board. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, that's just me personally too, Sean. I just know from experience. I can't go down that path. Maybe when I'm old, maybe when I'm in my 60s and 70s, maybe. I don't know.
Bob says, hi, Bob.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm a real alcoholic of the hopeless variety.
Same here. Me too. That's funny. All right, so we're talking about the plan, right? It's writing stuff down, and we will get into the exact details of what you should write down here in a sec. So why do I need a relapse prevention plan? Why do you need one? A lot of times, like obviously I didn't have a relapse prevention plan the day I quit drinking or 10 days or 30 days into my journey. I didn't write mine until 5 months into but I was executing a plan via my intense outpatient program due to following their rules and showing up 3.5 hours, 5 days a week and attending meetings, mandatory group meetings on the weekends. That was keeping me, and that was the plan at that time, even though I didn't have one written. But when I got off the cushion, when I got kicked out of the nest and I had to go land back into real life, then I needed a written relapse plan, right? And if you're not in an IOP and in a facility where you're 24 hours accountable, it's a good idea to really start thinking about this plan and what you're going to do, especially if you're going to try getting sober through the means of a recovering addict or just AA or just NA local meetings where you're not going to, put yourself into a rehab. So why do you need one?
Welcome, Morgan Page, real quick.
Morgan Page.
First time here, 8 months sober today.
Yeah. Yes. Wish I had an 8-month video. Damn. I need to get caught up on all those. I say that every time.
Yeah. One day after we move.
Morgan, thank you so much for being here. Really glad you have 8 months. That's great.
And Amanda said thank you. I've never liked the feeling of being drunk on person. My problem, I was just feeling guilty for not feeling guilty.
It's probably because you went to some old school AA meeting.
Right. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Michael.
Stephanie. Okay. Relapse is very common. Why do you need one? Because it's common. In fact, according to the Department of Health and Human Services, nearly 2/3 of all relapses occur during the first 6 months of recovery. You know what I mean? Get ready. 6 months. You guys need to be sharpening your sword. You need to be getting that shield up. You know what I'm saying? And this is a part of it. Your first 6 months, you better be on high alert. You stay away from any high risk situation at this point and extend it into the year. Wait for a year. You know what I'm saying? Just to make yourself safe. This is about your life and the rest of your life and the people that are affected by you, your close family. If you have kids, or your whatever, you're somebody's everything. And if you decide to relapse within a first year and you die, that's not good. You're going to break our heart. You're going to break a lot of people's hearts. So first of all, it is important to remember that addiction is a chronic disease. Some people will struggle with relapse for the entirety of their life. That doesn't mean they're a failure or they aren't still actively pursuing their recovery. Relapse can be caused by a number of different factors. Thank you, Sean. Stress, money problems, relationship issues, and certain sights and smells. There's a lot of things that can trigger us right into a relapse. And these little triggers could be a part of the rest of our life. And it's how we deal with them in the moment and the tools we've learned to be able to deal with them. If a relapse happens, not the end of your recovery journey, it could be. Additionally, just because you have a relapse prevention plan doesn't mean you will relapse. It just helps minimize the damage and quickly get you back on the track if you do so. It's like if you're going to go on a 400-mile trip, would you go without jumper cables and a small toolbox and a spare tire? You may not get a flat tire or breakdown, but if you do, it would sure be nice to have those things, wouldn't it? And that's what a relapse prevention plan is going to be. It's going to be the jumper cables in your trunk on your long trip, or the tire iron or the set of, tools. And you can look at it that way. Creating an effective relapse prevention plan. Creating a relapse prevention plan is an essential part of living life in recovery. Although every person's strategy will be different, the following 5 components should be part of any solid relapse prevention plan. Big Hump. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Hump. Lish said that's what AAA is for.
What if your phone dies and you don't have no service? And then you go hitchhiking and some crazy truck driver picks you up and then all of a sudden you're chained to a pole in the basement. I got dark.
The hills have eyes.
Watch out, Lish.
Just put a tire in your car, Lish. Don't want you on the news one day. Missing person, I-15.
Has anybody seen Lish?
I don't think she had a spare tire.
She says, stop, I'm leaving tomorrow. You better be prepared and call us if you need us.
Right. Charge your phone.
All right. So let's look at these 5 things real quick. Take time for assessment, and reflection. Take time. I mean, everybody get away. I need to think about me for a minute. And this is okay. Don't feel guilty for this. What's going to cause me to relapse? And think about it, right? Recognize your triggers and warning signs. Plan for the worst. If you're going on a long trip and you're leaving tomorrow.
Lish. Not to name names or anything.
Great. That's going to be stuck in my head all day now. Involve others. Get your group involved. These are the 5 things. Take time for self-assessment and reflection. 2, recognize your triggers and warning signs. 3, plan for the worst. 4, involve others. And 5, set goals for a healthy lifestyle. Set goals for a healthy lifestyle. We got to replace the old with the new. Nature abhors a vacuum. You remove something, you got to replace it. And if you're going to replace it with something healthy, or that vacuum is going to suck in the old habits. It's the way a pump works, a water pump works. What?
Lish is just laughing at you. Bob said one of my workers got DUI the other night. They swabbed his mouth and he tested positive for meth. Then they drew blood. Sucks to be him.
Damn.
He's on parole too. Ooh, that's no bueno.
Oh, man, that reminds me of the time I got relapsed on meth. I was out of jail in between 2 stints of jail that I did. Got rushed by undercovers. I had meth in a pipe in my pocket. They take it, write me a ticket, and then let me go. And I was like, what? This is crazy. I'm on probation. But so I tell my probation officer, I'll call her. She's like, yeah, I heard you got busted. We need to talk about it. I'm like, no, I'm fighting it. I'm taking it to court. Okay, she says. He just laughs. Okay. But I was smoking weed too. So she brought me into a drug test, failed the drug test. And I just remember here, cuff up. As soon as she said cuff up, I had a female PO and 2 big old dudes slid into the doorway. And I was just like, I'm not cuffing up. You kidding me? I would have complied anyway. What's up with all this force?
Just in case.
Just in case. But I was just a little tweaker, dude. I didn't care. All right. So taking time for self-assessment. Why did you use drugs or drink alcohol before you were in drug rehab? Ask yourself these questions. Why did you use drugs or drink? Was it to relieve stress? Was it to cope with a traumatic experience? To get away from everyday life and just have fun? Recognizing your usage patterns can help you pinpoint the things that cause you to resort to substance abuse. It is also helpful to make a list of times in the past when you relapsed and reflect on the situations or events that led to those instances of substance abuse. This self-understanding can be used as a valuable tool to fight relapse. Why? Why did you use drugs and drink? Were you traumatized as a kid? Do you have a ton of stress in your life and it offers relief? Or do you just like to have fun and party? That was mainly mine, was to have fun and party, and to relieve stress.
Everything.
Everything, right?
We got a lot of work to do, Christina.
This self-understanding can be used as a valuable tool to fight relapse. You guys, we got to get to know ourselves again. And you need to know yourself from what you've been through. Like, why did I do all that crap? And then you start living life in a different way and you bob and weave a little differently. You need to recognize your warning signs and triggers. A trigger is an experience, an event, or even a person that causes you to stray away from a life of sobriety back into substance abuse. Every person's going to have different triggers, but developing an awareness of your own and making a list of them can help you actively avoid them on a daily basis. Some examples of triggers might be visiting a place where you used to do drugs. Hey, let's go hang back out over there. No. Hanging out with a person that you used to do drugs or drink with, or even attending holiday parties where alcohol was present. I told that story in the Zoom meeting today. I went to my brother's 50th birthday party. I wanted to drink that day. You know what I mean? It's not like I was craving it and I was triggered and all that stuff, but I had to set myself up to go there and say hi and leave before everybody started drinking. So we showed up early. And then I was just like, God, this sucks. Look at me. I'm such a piece of crap. And then I went to that self-negative talk a little bit. And, it's his 50th, my brother, all the big excuses. It's my brother. It's his 50th. They got a band. It's right up the street. Yeah, we could talk ourselves into anything, but I had to stick with the program. I went there an hour early. I said hello, hugged everybody, grabbed a roll out the door and left. Did not stick around for any of it. Coolers weren't even open.
Mm-hmm. So Yasser, hey guys, thank you for doing this. It's a great help. I'm following from Libya
Awesome.
in North Africa.
Way cool.
Very cool.
Cheers.
Glad you're here.
Shout out.
Shout out to North Africa.
That is cool.
Welcome, Claiborne.
Claiborne, man, I miss your face. Glad you're doing so good, brother. But I watch you on Facebook though. I'll be stalking you.
We stalk all of you, just so you know.
I'll be stalking all
We're
y'all.
all Facebook stalkers.
You friend me, I'm stalking you. I'll be looking at you. I'll be looking at your profile. I'll be like, please look at this. Claiborne's cutting the hair.
That's what they look like.
Damn, look how good he can cut some hair.
I'm like, I wish he would move to Utah so he could be our barber.
Oh yeah, Alicia remembers that day. And then I came on live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn it, they're having fun and I'm down here just not.
Big baby.
That was a big baby.
Lish said she used for fun until it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop and then realized a whole lot more things in treatment.
It does not. Oh man, remember how it's fun at first and then it just is like not. Ugh.
Just like donuts are good until you're fat.
Yeah.
That's my life.
So unfortunately, it's not always possible to avoid these situations. So it is wise to make a plan and specific strategies that's going to help you manage each of the triggers on your list. You write down a trigger, you got a plan to prevent it or escape it or battle it, right? If you write it down as a trigger, you need to have I'm going to say 3 bullet points underneath it on how you're going to battle this trigger if it happens to arise right in your face. You obviously are going to avoid them. You're not going to purposely put yourself in a trigger area, a high-risk situation, but you're going to have a plan, right? And I gave that 1 through 10 list of places that you should or should not be, or maybe you have to be, or, hey, life is life and you're going to be. Scale, we'll talk about that later too.
Desmond's confused. I feel like it's right on time.
Bloody live. Des, dude.
There was a time change a couple months ago.
Daylight savings time happened like a while ago.
I don't know. You've been moving. It's fine. Claiborne's unfriending you.
No.
Merc creeps on him too.
That's awesome.
Merc creeping.
So it's obviously wise to make plans, right? That these warning signs of relapse.
Lish, I have a plan for everything. Even the hills have eyes. Do you? You have bumper cables? What are they called?
Yeah, bumper cables.
Jumper cables in your car.
Bumper cables and blinker fluid.
Yeah, you got that stuff.
The warning signs of a relapse often come well before a person falls back into old habits. Remember that. We have blinders and we don't see ourselves subconsciously slipping. That's why we gather around a group of people that can help us. That's why we get to know each other. Be like, hey, yo, we can call each other out, because relapse often comes well before a person falls back into old habits. So it's important to be able to recognize these red flags. Perhaps high levels of stress at work lead you to fall back into substance abuse, or maybe problems with your spouse seem unmanageable. So your tendency is to rely on alcohol to help you through it. Identifying your warning signs early on gives you time to get help before things spiral out of control. Long live Maynard James Keenan.
Stop. No.
Spiral out, baby.
Lish just lost the element of surprise. Now they know what's in your car.
Make a plan for the worst. Although this may sound pessimistic, The truth is you don't want to be stuck without a plan if a relapse does happen. Write out a step-by-step plan detailing what you will do if you relapse. So you can have a plan to prevent the relapse, and you have a secondary plan to prevent or what you're going to do if you do relapse. Like, shit, I was weak, I fell. Because we're going to fall. I can't remember what book we got it out of, and I've said this a million times, but if you're walking to the post office and it's completely icy outside, and you slip 3 blocks into this walk to the post office, you can consider that your relapse, right? But you're still 3 blocks closer to the post office. That doesn't mean you slid all the way back to where you began. You're going to have all the same knowledge, all the same tools. You've made a mistake at that point. You made a bad decision. You fell to your character defects or weakness, right? And you pick yourself up and you start walking towards the post office on the same ice, but you're more cautious. You got bumps and bruises, and you should have a plan how to continue and get yourself back in. And the first thing I'm going to say on that plan will be to tell on yourself, whether it's here, whether it's a Zoom meeting, whether it's your counselor, your friend. I messed up and I'm not happy with it. Forgive me if you need to apologize. Get into a meeting and up your recovery game,
Petey says it's out of Staying Sober.
Oh, is it out of this book?
And welcome, John. 235 days sober and still going strong. Yes.
Dude, that's a long time.
Shut up, Claiborne.
Bumper cables are for barbells. I thought they were for bowling.
Forgive yourself and move on.
Absolutely. And we're not going to stop loving you. You get that feeling a lot of times. I relapsed. I can't go back to group and talk to them about that. I can't go back to Recovering Addict Zoom meeting at 1:00 every day and talk about it. They're going to, think this or that. No, we're going to be like this. Come on, bring it in. Bring it in.
We'll love you till you love yourself.
Physically in person, we would give you a hug.
That'd be cool.
We're here to love, we're not here to judge.
Back sore.
What's up, Linky? You look good in that shirt, bud.
Yeah, that is a nice shirt.
Review your plan for a relapse with them. Discuss how they can help you get back on track. This could require them to help you get back into an inpatient program. Maybe you need to go back to rehab. It's up to you. It's subjective where you're at in your recovery. Just make sure they're okay with providing that support if you need it. Plan for the worst. Plan for the worst. What if I do? What if I'm here? What if I'm there? What if I'm cleaning out my house and I run into whatever, right? Substance, a bottle of whiskey. We're about to move and clean out the house. I may run into a pint of whiskey that I have stashed somewhere that I forgot where I stashed it. I used to stash that shit everywhere.
Mike says, I'm terrified of relapse, but been thinking, well, what if I can drink socially, but knowing it won't happen? Plus, let's see, we'll come down here and kick. That's true.
That's absolutely true.
We know where you live.
Oh, yeah. I've been down there 3 times now. Dude, I will kick your ass.
Yasser from North Africa. It's 4:45 a.m. here. Since I stopped using weed, I'm having problems sleeping.
Yeah.
I've been using 16 years, tried quitting before, but relapsed. I've been sober for 20 days now.
Congratulations.
Nice. 20 days. That's big.
When I quit smoking weed, before I started drinking, I was an everyday smoker. I had a little brown box in my pocket stuffed full of an eighth with one hitter little thing. And I would get up, take a hit of weed, light a cigarette, drink coffee, get to the job site, hit some weed, light a cigarette, get to work for 4 or 5 years straight. And then I had to quit because I had drug tests coming up. Man, it was so hard. I couldn't sleep and I didn't have energy, which was weird. I was like, I just can't go to work. Everything sucks, Weed's no joke to quit. If you want to quit and you've been a long time weed smoker, it affects you. I know from experience.
And Lesh says, no judgment ever. We will love you until you love yourself.
Absolutely.
From your good friend.
Shout out Rob.
Rob.
Long live Rob.
314. Awesome, Amanda.
Awesome. So congratulated. So involving other individuals. This is number 4 on our relapse prevention plan. You want to involve people in your recovery. It's essential to long-lasting change. We recover better together. That's not our motto on accident. Contact someone from your support group, a close friend, your therapist, and ask them if it's okay for you to call when you're experiencing extreme cravings. Have a list of people and their phone numbers in case your phone dies and you need to actually dial somebody's phone number, because we don't memorize numbers anymore these days. Go to that extreme. Call these people. Hey, I'm an addict. You know that. You saw the life I'm living, but I'm changed now. And if I feel extreme pressure to use, can I call and just bend your ear for a minute? 99.9% of the people are going to say absolutely. They would be honored to help somebody in this process. So make a list of 5 or 10 people. I have a whole bunch of people I can call. I have people on base that Fleece just threw me their numbers, and one of them was like, dude, I understand what you're doing. You may not have people to talk to. I'm the guy if you need to talk. And I got my sponsor Dell too if I ever need to talk.
Mm-hmm. I want to shout out Adrian real quick. She makes hoodies, and she's going to send me and LT a couple hoodies that we're going to wear on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty excited about it. So, Adrian, drop your link and stuff in there so people can get a hold of you.
Yeah. Love it. If you have a sponsor, if you have somebody you can lean on, hit that like button and honor them. Hit that heart button and honor them. Thank you, Marilyn.
Christopher, can I ask a question? Please do.
Please do. Pretty please do.
And then, yes, I like what Troy said. I want to congrats to all the one-dayers out there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your thing, but they're bringing up the old Dale joke.
What's wrong with Dale? Is it Dale or Dale? Yeah, you say Dale.
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 He spells it like Del Taco. It's Dale.
Dale. D-A-L-E. Dale. Pin. P-E-N.
All right, go back to where you were. I forgot.
Oh, I just Troy wanted to shout out all the 24-hour newcomers out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. It was very heavy user. Weed is too cheap here. I used to smoke like 10 joints on my own. I feel like that's a lot.
Therapist always there to answer my calls. Amen. Christopher says, I'm suffering from alcohol. Dude, Christopher, I was a sufferer of alcohol too. 4 years. Well, I'd say I was drinking probably 6 years total when I started drinking again, a bender of 6 years. And it gradually got worse through those 6 years. So the first 3 was party time, have fun. The next year into that 4th year was like, okay, wow, I'm drinking a little more than I should be, but I don't care. And then the last 3 years, even the last 2, man, it got bad. I was drinking a 5th a night, gallons of whiskey on the weekend. I got video to prove it. Let me show y'all a little what I looked like drinking. If I still have this up there, drop that comment real quick.
And look, LT, let's me and you talk. The drunk guy talking to the sober guy in the morning who has the thoughts to edit the video as a drunk guy once again. Let's start there, okay? Too much things are happening. Something's like going on. Why is it so like influential? And how did we get here? I'll answer your questions and then you answer mine. And it's funny that I'm the first one to start asking questions. Yeah.
So that was me back in 2018, right before I quit, a couple months before I quit. And that's what my drinking turned into, right? I'd come home, I'd grab my whiskey, my pint, whatever it was. I'd sit it by my computer. I'd get into video editing, education, learning all this stuff when we're doing now. And the alcohol would kick in. I was instantly in guilt and instantly in shame. Why am I drinking so much? So I decided to make a video of drunk LT, and the idea was to have the morning daytime LT make a sober video and have like this conversation back and forth between drunk LT. It was stupid, but I got lots more videos like that. And I was rock bottom, right? I know, brother. I know.
Yeah, he said, wanted to know because last time he quit, he shook pretty bad.
Christopher
relapsed on the 27th when his mom passed.
That's tough. And it's easy to use those big tragedies, big T tragedies, to justify our excuse. My son was in an accident. That justified me trying to kill myself with it. If you're shaking, alcohol can kill you if you quit cold turkey. So what I did, because of how much I was drinking, I went into a hospital 4 days, put an IV in me, shut the lights off, fed me, came in, had a nurse checking on me every couple hours. You hallucinating, this and that. Got out of there. I went and got me a side job, and I built a deck. I was like, I got to do something I haven't done for a long time and build something. So I built a freaking big old deck for this lady. And then I checked myself into a rehab program. That's what I had to do, bro.
It's been up and down.
But if you haven't had a drink since January, or did you relapse on January and you're still drinking right now?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And if you have DTs, yeah, I would suggest going to the hospital and detoxing. I tried to wean. Because I read all the things. Okay, I knew I wanted to quit. I was miserable for 2 years. I was freaking miserable. I wasn't having fun drinking. I was just doing it. I was an addict. I was completely addicted. And I was researching, what if I quit? What happens if I quit? And I was like, you could die. Well, here's other ways that you can go about it. Dr. Google told me all kinds of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to drink a pint of whiskey tonight. Tomorrow it'll be a half a pint. I'm going to wean myself down through the hard part. As soon as I started drinking, I drank everything that was within a 2-mile radius of me, right? That didn't work. I tried switching to beer. I'm going to go to beer. But then I ended up drinking 24 beers and still not drunk enough. You know what I mean? So I had to hit eject. I had to hit pause on life. And I had to not give a crap what happened. If I lost my job, whatever. I had to hit pause or it wasn't going to get better.
Yeah, Steph did the same thing. Had to go to detox. I'm glad glad you made it, Desmond. He's lost the plot though. That's okay. And then everybody, the Indigenous Minds of the New World Facebook page, go check it out. See what Adrian's got to offer.
Word.
Says back to Christopher. Okay, what hurt me most was layoff during COVID.
Yeah, COVID, that season jacked up a lot of people. If you go and research the numbers of domestic violence, drug overdose, and drug use and alcohol sales, and dude, it's insane.
Dang, Troy says 4 seizures 4 years ago from alcohol withdrawal. I suggest no one try detoxing from alcohol on their own. Almost died.
Good advice. Good advice, Troy.
What up, Pennsylvania?
Hey, what's up, Heather? Good to see you.
We are having a meeting after.
Yes, we're going to have a Zoom meeting directly after this, and we will discuss relapse prevention plan, and I will read my relapse prevention plan in the Zoom meeting. Link will be in the Discord. If you are not a part of the Discord, please jump in there. That is where we get to know each other. That's where you're going to find. That. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. I meant to hit this one. So the Discord, that's where we put all our information. That's where our schedule for our Zooms, our live streams. We have daily meetings. That's where if you want to truly get connected and involved with Recovery and Addict, jump into the Discord. All right.
I said hello.
What?
No, I said hello already.
So in your relapse prevention plan, you want to involve others, right? You're going to call somebody and say, can I call you when I'm craving? A good friend. Plan on distracting yourself with someone else besides alcohol or drugs. That's good, such as going for a run with a friend, finally helping your mom clean out her garage, getting coffee with a member of your support group, or going to see a movie with your sister. These are all healthy distractions that will keep your mind off cravings and help you develop relationships with people who want to actively support your sobriety. Distract yourself. That's why they say 90 and 90. You're going to replace that time you were using in the evening or whatever and replacing that time with an hour or so of recovery. On the other hand, you must also make an effort to remove yourself from social situations and harmful relationships that may serve as a trigger, whether it's a friend you used to use drugs with or an ex-girlfriend who simply can't enjoy a night out without a drink. These types of relationships are toxic to your sobriety goals. Number 5 is set goals for a healthy lifestyle. Another very important aspect of a relapse prevention plan is setting daily, weekly, monthly, and forever goals for achieving a healthy lifestyle. You replace the old bad habits with the new bad habits. And this isn't going to happen overnight. When you go on a diet, you don't just go, okay, I'm going to quit sugar and you go cold turkey. You just do a little at a time. You start adding in extra meat, extra protein to your diet that's more satiated so that you feel full when you eat. And then you won't want to eat that extra slice of pizza or, jump into some cheesecake afterwards because you're full from good, healthy food. And your brain will be like, you're full, and you will be. So a couple examples, you could be taking a 30-minute take 30 minutes out of your day to practice yoga. You can adopt a new hobby like poetry classes, martial arts, or creating your own healthy meal plan each week. Make daily efforts to prioritize your overall well-being. Not only helps you manage stress, but it also reinforces your sense of self-worth and value. As addicts, we have low self-esteem. We feel like the bottom crust of the garbage can, and we need to start building ourselves up because we are not that. That's just what we've made ourselves believe that we are. So the rest of this is how to develop a relapse prevention plan, and that's what we're going to go over in the Zoom meeting directly after this. I'll be eating Chinese food and going over this with everybody, and then we can discuss face-to-face and talk and ask questions. Link will be in the Discord shortly after that. So next Sunday, I will jump into the big book. I want to hit one chapter on family, and then I want to get back into staying sober. And I just want to let y'all know that our schedule is going to be kind of wonky for the next few weeks. We're going to be cleaning out this house and moving downtown and selling this house. So we got a bob and weave with us. So until next Sunday, is there anything else we need to address real quick?
No, just that I love Misha Morgan.
Misha.
Miga.
It's wonderful to find people like you I can talk to. Wherever I come from, it's so hard to talk about it or find somebody to listen to because my people here see users. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that's a stigma we're trying to change, man. I get it. So if you can join us in this Zoom, that would be great.
People.
If you're not in, links or Felicia's going to drop the Discord link one more time, and join us in this Discord app. If you don't have it, download it. It's free. Jump in there. It's free. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. And until next Sunday, do not put yourself in a high risk situation.
Peter did this for us.
Yeah, we almost forgot to pray.
Can I tell him a joke first?
Yeah, Link has a joke.
I impressed a mime last week. Yeah, he was speechless.
He impressed a mime last week. The guy was speechless.
I'll teach you all the things, Misha.
Who are we not?
Who are we not?
God.
Wait,
Okay.
You got to put Teeter's thing up.
Yep.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Right on.
Love that prayer.
Yeah, me too. Let me take that comment off. All right, y'all. Until Sunday, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.